I think too much, Dad drinks too much, but I'm planning not to understand it all. I'm sick of all the questions.
Right now, this is my only form of ID while here in India, and the story of how that happened.
It's in the unknown that I find home. I will rest my head in the desert, and I know life gets sweeter when I don't know.
So I'm here in Fort Cochin, one of the most southern cities in India, and overall I've been cycling for 2 months filming the Miles of Portraits India series. And about a month into the trip is when I officially lost my passport and had to rely solely on my e-visa to prove who I am every time I check into an Airbnb or hotel or anything here. Now this is our first international bike trip, so we were expecting a few bumps and hurdles. But if you've been following close enough, you know that Annalisa and I got food poisoning after leaving Kochi that first week. And this story happened a few days after that. Now the most embarrassing part is that this happened 100% because of Instagram. You see, I tried to listen to the advice of being responsible and put my passport and debit card in kind of like a holder, a little pouch, and kept it on me at all times. And we were taking these photos right as the sun was going down, and you'll see that there's a series of photographs that have a lump underneath it. That's my passport and debit card. And then there's a series of photos that have no lump. That's me trying to get better photos for my sponsor. And the thing is, I put my passport down on Dark Roast, my touring bike, thinking there's no way we could ride off and leave this behind, but that's exactly what happens.
I am burning it down. I am burning it down. I am burning it down. Oh, I am.
You see, I lost my passport and debit card, maybe with the chance of going back tomorrow morning and finding it because I knew exactly where I had dropped it. However, that night I was like, it'd be good to have cash on me, so Annalisa and I went downtown in Munnar to this ATM where I legitimately made a joke I now regret, saying this would be a perfect place to film a horror movie because the ATM was dark, the lights were flickering, there was a woman sitting outside there. We had to wait around for 10 or 15 minutes, and eventually we went in, withdrew money, and then, I should mention, Annalisa and I have a business account now. Huge leap forward for Miles of Portraits, amazing. But then we get back to the hotel, and Annalisa gives me this look, and I thought she was joking, but she said, I left the debit card in the ATM. Now leaving me with zero passport, zero access to withdrawing money. Alright, so the next and most responsible thing to do is freeze our debit cards, but they told us that we would not be able to unfreeze them, so there goes the Miles of Portraits business account for this trip. We were close to being responsible. And then everyone else was telling me that I should file a police report for my lost passport. And to be honest, I didn't really feel motivated because what are the chances of someone finding my passport and actually getting it back to me?
I said thank you for your mercy. You give it to me freely now, and even though I don't deserve you.
That was until I was scrolling through my email, and I have so much spam since I arrived in India. I'm not sure why. And amongst all of the spam was an email with the subject, U.S. passport received at Embassy, New Delhi. This is what it says. Hello, Mr. Douds. We are writing from the U.S. Embassy, New Delhi to notify that your current valid U.S. passport was recovered in Munnar and been brought to the embassy. Please call us at your earliest convenience. So now I have two issues. I am dripping sweat right now. I took the time to make a little drawing to explain issue number one. That is, I am in Fort Cochin. As I said before, this is one of the most southern cities in India, and so the next step is to get to Bangalore. This is because a Puvra invited me to a diabetes conference, the World Congress of Diabetes India, something like that, the 10th one. So I'm going there, and then after that, I actually have to make it to New Delhi. But as a comparison for Americans, this is basically like if you were traveling on the West Coast or in Colorado, and then you got an email saying you have to go retrieve something from New York because it is 2,200 kilometers away. Which means if you have advice for places to stop on the train, such as Bhopal, I'm willing to listen.
You have all you need. I'm gonna sweat and bleed. Yes, I will. At any moment, place and any time, I'm always open. It's never closing time.
Gosh, if that isn't impressive work. Sometimes I'm just marveled by the hard work that happens here in India.
Not gonna let you down. I'm gonna go all out on you.
What is this?
This? Diabetes. Have you heard of it? So every time I eat food, I have to take a shot. I wished type 1 diabetes was my only issue, but I got sent to this place by Gregory, who is the Airbnb host in Cochin that I've been staying with. But the issue, as I was saying, is I lost my passport, but we also lost our debit cards. So I will not be able to take out money. And so Annalisa just left 2 days ago. And so she took out 8,000 rupees and I had 2,000 rupees. So I have 10,000 rupees, which sounds like a lot, but it's about 150 US dollars or one night in an LA hotel. Hello! And so I'm doing everything I can to save money and cut down on budget. So all the places downtown are super expensive, where this meal, this vegetarian meal, will be about 50 rupees or $1. And from there I'll have to make sure I budget everything appropriately. That was very, very good. Thank you. All right, 55 rupees makes that one of the best dollars you can spend. I'm gonna take it easy for a little bit and get back to you guys. So I wasn't expecting to end up here either, but you have to make those adjustments and go with the flow. Now, traveling is something that brings me great joy, and why I keep doing it and why I'm out here is something I've really been reflecting on. And losing my passport, having food poisoning, doing all this stuff, putting myself in this place of discomfort is a joy. I was reading Christina Mittermeier's blog. She's a National Geographic photographer who now is starting a nonprofit called Sea Legacy, but also focuses on indigenous people. And she was wondering what it's like to be an influencer and what power does that give her, and why does she continue to travel. And she wrote, "Wandering in these wild and remote places may sound glamorous, but it's quite the opposite. We photographers who do this type of work live on the edge of danger and discomfort. away from family and security, all in the hope that our photographic pursuits may gift others with a larger, more compassionate view of our planet. As someone living with type 1 diabetes, I'm out here specifically to prove that people with a chronic illness can go to places like India. But then on a personal and emotional level, the fact that so many of my friends and family warned me about a place of 1.3 billion people not to come, not to see what it's like, it's why I relate to people like Anthony Bourdain, who didn't call himself a journalist, but rather just explored places through food and wanted to document their everyday lives. And with my background of environmental policy, I've always been fascinated in a global world, how we all live together in the same place. And I think nowadays, the fact that we do have cell phones makes it easier than ever to manage our disease, but to connect with people. So when I lose my passport, I can scroll through my email and find that someone found it, recovered it, and sent it to the embassy. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I will be seeing Apurva here tomorrow for a diabetes conference. And until the next time, remember that you can go anywhere and do anything.
It's in the unknown that I find home. I will rest my head in the desert, and I know life is sweeter when I don't know. It's in the unknown that I find home. I will rest my head in the desert, and I know life gets sweeter when I don't know.